I heard you say, Susan, that because he was somewhat kyphotic, meaning slightly forward bent, unable
Hmm.
to fully be
Yeah.
erect and standing and have that natural curvature and that arched position of the lumbar spine, and the fact that he felt limited in that way when you asked him to move that way, that at least opened the potential that, okay, perhaps if we can move Rick in this direction and it improves or doesn't worsen, it might open up an opportunity that there's some answers there, particularly since all the care before that had not really explored that direction.
Yeah. I mean, I think with most, with a lot of the back pain that we see these major limitations in certain directions, right? And he had no limitation bending over that I can recall, and just an extreme limitation in that direction. So in my mind, it's worth it to at least explore. And I knew I didn't have a lot of, um, I knew it was going to be like, we either needed to like figure something out kind of quickly, or we had 30 days really from the time that he was going to be deciding on a surgery or not. So I just remember on the first visit, uh, just the idea of standing up erect turned on his glutes. And so I basically started him out in a prone position, which did trigger his symptoms into the glutes. And but it eventually started to calm down, so I was kind of able to sneak in some movements, not in a way that I didn't want to be, uh, I wanted to feel like he was comfortable moving in that direction, but I also wanted to confirm, like, is this something I can help? So I
Sure.
needed to know, can I get you to move in this direction without it being an irritant?
Sure. Susan, tell me about when you say eventually improved. Was that
Mhm.
within the same session he started seeing from the first attempting to try to backward bend in that prone lying position, stomach lying position, from the first repetition to at some point later within that same session, or do you mean on subsequent visits he showed improvement in ability to do that and less pain in the buttocks?
So I'll speak to what I have written down. Rick, you can chime in. The one thing that I remember from the first visit is that he felt like he was standing up taller. Like symptoms had improved some, not
Mm-hmm.
not a massive amount, but he was standing up taller and feeling like his gait had improved. So,
Okay, excellent.
Rick,
Yep.
do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I remember doing that stuff created a lot of pain
Yeah.
because Susan's right. I had no mobility. I couldn't bend backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't. On that first time we got on your table and I was
Yeah.
doing press ups,
Yeah.
we started with my hands, even with my shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think I got fully up. Maybe I
Oh
did in the
no.
last one, but I don't think so. It
No,
was,
you were, yeah. It
yeah,
was still very blocked. Yeah.
right. And then, Susan gave me an every 2 hour prescription for what I needed to do, and the press ups were kind of at the heart of it. That night, I was able to get fully extended.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe that was, the third or fourth attempt. If I was doing 10 to 15 repetitions, it took me that long, later that night before I could get one where I was fully extended.
Okay. And do you remember, Rick, if initially it's quite painful, you're telling us, at what point later did it become to where, hey, this is not near as painful as it used to be?
That's a great question. I felt like I was fighting through pain. Like, in other words, once I said to Susan, okay, I'll do the leap of faith and I'll try this. I wanted to be careful that I was doing it exactly like she was asking me to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I couldn't do it, fine. I had to live with that. But I really wasn't as concerned with my pain threshold in the beginning because I just assumed it's going to hurt. And so I wasn't monitoring the pain. Now, when I say in the beginning, like, first couple of days, right? And then I would say within a week, clearly my ability to move and bend in certain situations had vastly improved. Pain had come down, no question about that. Um, but when Susan laid out the 4 steps and the method, and the one we were gearing up to is 24 to 48 hours of no pain, I certainly wasn't there. And Susan gave me a sense of what she experienced with other patients, and that for some people it's 1 session, for some people it's 2 sessions. 3 to 4 is not atypical, right? So I wasn't expecting it right away. We both probably got maybe a little frustrated when we were 4 or 5 weeks into it, and we hadn't had that 24 to 48 hour period yet, right? Albeit things were getting better.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Absolutely. Hear the entire episode for free on iTunes, Spotify, other favorite podcast players, or go to mechanicalcareforum.com.